What's good, creative fam? Brandon Washington here, and this is going to be my top 10 features you need to know about when it comes to the DJI Mic 2 with no BS. And no, this video is not sponsored by DJI, even though yes, they did happen to send me these mics in advance. Let's hop into it. All right, one of the first features I think is incredibly important about these new mics is the ability to actually connect via Bluetooth to your phone or an Osmo device as well. This is a really cool feature because a lot of times when you want to connect your microphones to your phone, you actually have to plug it into your phone, find the right cables, and yes, even though DJI did give you everything you need to be able to connect this device directly to your phone, that's actually unnecessary. All you have to do is switch the device into Bluetooth mode, which to do that, all you have to do is hold down the record button for 3 seconds. From there, it'll actually start blinking blue. Then you just have to hit the pairing button, and I found that it automatically connects to my iPhone in just one tap. From there, it's now connected, and I can now use my mics with my iPhone. All right, the second one is probably the one that everyone else is going to be talking about, and that is the fact that yes, this thing does have 32-bit recording internally. But I think what's even more important is the fact that it actually gives you 14 hours of 32-bit recording internally. And it's nice that all the mics have USB-C directly built into them. All you have to do is plug it in via USB-C to your computer, and you can move those 32-bit float files directly off. It is important to know that it does not record 32-bit float directly to your camera in any way. This is only recorded internally. So if you want that extra latitude, make sure you build in time to be able to pull those files off of the actual mics themselves. All right, my third feature is actually this new case. Now, it's very similar to last year's case, except I actually love this new implementation of the button to release the latch. I find that that's actually way more secure, and overall, everything else inside the case, the way everything is laid out, seems better to me. All right, the fourth feature that I think you need to definitely pay attention to is this new AI auto cancellation feature. Now, I don't actually even see anything noting this in the settings on how you turn this on or off, but currently it sounds okay. I'm not really sure exactly what it's doing when it's saying using AI auto noise cancellation. I think it's just trying to do some noise cancellation in the background. Nothing sounds too weird in any of my tests so far. This is something I'm definitely going to keep my eye out on, but for first impression, I guess it's doing okay. Now, the fifth feature is a nice upgrade from the previous version, and that is now the fact that you do actually get up to 820 feet of distance, and that's actually going to come in handy. So if you are someone who needs to walk away from your camera, it's nice to know that you have to go on a pretty nice long walk in order to get too far away where your camera still wouldn't pick it up. But that bonus of having the mics actually record internally means that it probably doesn't even matter because your mic is still going to pick up the audio regardless. Now, the sixth feature is one that if you actually had the first generation, you know is a big one, and that is the fact that now the actual cold shoe is not on that weird hinge that also connects to actually be able to control, being able to plug in like the iOS and USB-C adapters on here. Now your cold shoe is separate from that connection port, which means that hinge is less likely, actually it's not even existent, so it won't break. So if you had the old version and you were constantly worried about breaking that hinge where the cold shoe was, don't worry about that anymore. The new version fixes that. Now, the seventh feature that I'm actually really excited about is this new Fit Everything case, and that is the fact that not only can you actually put the actual charging case that holds the actual mics and the transmitter and receivers, you can also store everything else in here. So all of your dead cats, if you have any actual DJI mics, as well as USB-C cables, everything you need can now all fit into this nice case, and it makes my life so much easier to just throw one thing in the camera bag instead of having to find all these little pieces that are stored everywhere. Now, the eighth feature is actually, I think, one that's going to be fairly controversial, and I'd love to know you guys' opinion on this down below in the comment section, but that is this new futuristic design. Now, the original ones just had a sort of carbon fiber matte black kind of aesthetic with that glossy silver DJI logo, which a lot of people would just throw a nice little piece of gas tape over it. But with this new design, I feel like it's way more in your face. The logo is now white, and it's sort of this like clear, futuristic, you can see all the like tech inside the actual microphones, and I honestly don't know how I feel about this. I think that personally it looks really good, but in a professional environment, I definitely probably don't want that seen on my talent. So I'll definitely be utilizing the magnet in a way in order to sort of hide this microphone if I wanted to use it in a professional manner. But I'd love to know what you guys' thoughts are on this design choice. It's very bold, it's very different, and I don't think this is something that everyone else is just going to be able to rip them off on, because let's face it, last year's microphones, everybody ripped off DJI, so this at least will make their microphones stand apart. Now, the ninth feature is actually one that I really love, and that's something that they brought over from last year's model, and that is the fact that you still have that touchscreen interface within the receiver. However, if you don't want to just use the touchscreen, you also have this new dial that also clicks in. So this actually makes it a lot easier. So if you are in a situation where maybe your hands are cold, you're wearing gloves, something like that, and you just can't really get the touchscreen to work the way you want it to, now you actually have a physical dial along with that touchscreen interface in order to navigate through the menus, which the menus are plentiful. And that actually goes into our 10th and final feature, which is something that I love about the new update. With this updated model, now you also have the ability to choose what camera you're using and then allow it to make manual adjustments of the actual receiver based on that camera. So for those of you guys who have been shooting and you're trying to dial in exactly what gain you need and what type of settings you need to have on your camera, well, now it actually has it built in based off of not only the manufacturer, but the actual camera model itself. Now, this is one area where obviously updates are going to have to continue to come out as new cameras come out. In fact, even on the pre-release model that I have, I've noticed that certain cameras are missing. Cameras like the Canon R3 or my Nikon Z8 and ZF. These are cameras that are currently not in there, but I'm sure this will be fixed with a quick firmware update, and I'm sure we're going to be getting a ton of these, especially throughout the year as new cameras keep coming out. But there you have it, guys. Those are the top 10 features I think you absolutely need to know about when it comes to these microphones. Do me a huge favor. Tune in this Friday. We're going to be going live at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time with our typical live uncensored episode where we talk everything filmmaking gear. And of course, this week we're going to be talking about these microphones, and I'll be doing some Q&A. So if you guys have additional questions about these mics, definitely be sure to tune in. But thanks so much for checking out this video. I told you, no BS. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.